What's going on, YouTube? It's James with Shimmer Fantasy Battle Report's got another battle report for today. It's the Road to Adepticon, round number 4, guys. Guys, it's my 4th Old World game, and I'm getting it back at the Dice Dojo against Will. This is a newcomer. Dun, 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 dun. Will is, he's a 40k player, came down to play the Old World. I just finished a game against my brother this day. The Dice Dojo is getting harder and harder to get a table booked, even though it's funny because every time I come I get this table specifically. But with my the game after my brother, I'm playing the same list. I had the opportunity to bring Night Goblins. I brought the Night Goblins with me with Fanatics, and my brother's like, try out the Savage Orcs, try out the Savage Orcs. So I said, okay, I'll try out the Savage Orcs. And then we kind of had a talk about it in this game, about what would have done better if I had Fanatics or if I had Savages. The one thing personally I like about Fanatics is the fact that they cannot be targeted. So in a game like this where he had massive hordes and blocks, it would have been a field day with the Fanatics unless I rolled a bunch of doubles. Anyways, let's go over what he has. Let's go over what I have. Let's go over this game. All right, let me get you to this game. All right. Now, I'm going to condense this down in the pictures. He has a Archmage, which is his general on foot. It's a Sea Guard guy, and he's in the unit of Sea Guard with the Silvery Wand. He has a Prince on a Chariot. This guy's a bastard, and I mean he is a bastard with the Seed of Rebirth, Dragon Helm, Full Plate Mail, and White Shroud, and Pure of Heart. Now, he has another Mage, level 2 on foot with Warden of Sapphire with the Illusion. And then he has 20 Lothern Sea Guard with the Razor Standard. This unit right here is eye-opening to me on what units can do with a Razor Banner, especially shooting units. 18 Spearmen, 10 Sword Bastards of Hoeth, and then 8 more Sword Bastards of Hoeth. These guys have extremely fast initiative, extremely fast, which is making this really hard. He has 5 Shadow Warriors, they're Chariot Runners. Then he took a Bolt Thrower, and then he took another unit of allies. He took allies, so he has a Glade Captain with the Great Stag, Asrai Bow, Hagbane Tips, Dragon Slayer Sword. He has 5 Glaive Guard with the same setup, Asrai Longbows, Hagbane Tips, 5 more Glaive Guard, and 5 Glade Riders. Whew. Alright, that was a mouthful. Alright, for me, I got the same thing. I got the Mangler Squid, I got my General on the Wyvern with the, this list, I think I took Ogre Blade, and I think I dropped the Ogre Blade app. No, I had Bedazzling Helm. I had Bedazzling Helm on this, because he definitely breaks my Bedazzling Helm. Then I have, Spider, the Ragnarok Spider. I have the Black Orcs, Savage Orcs, the Boar Boys, and the 2 Chariot Lords. I have my Koopa the Fat Bastard on the Fast Chariot, and then I have my other guy who's still on the Fast Chariot, but he's a wizard, level 4 Shaman of Wog Magic, or Odd Knob of Wog Magic. Wog! Alright. Alright, so let's go over the battlefield real quick. Let's show you what we got going on here. I'm going to go ahead and give this disclaimer. This game was over about a week and a half ago. I'm going to flub some things up because we flubbed the game up a couple times. The Dice Dojo was closing at 7 o'clock. Me and my brother finished our game around, like, I think 4 or 4:30. And this game ended up becoming a lot of questions and rule checking up. Because of that setup, the game takes way longer than it should. And I'm not complaining by any means. My opponent is, you know, I feel this is going to happen in the first few tournaments a lot. Me and Phil Carl, we can play a game in an hour. Me and Phil Carl we can knock games out so fast that we will play a game, explain what happened wrong in the game, switch a list, and play another game within like the same hour and a half, 2 hours. So that's me and Phil, but we understand our rules for our armies. We're understanding each other's rules for each other's armies at this point because we play each other all the time. This game right here, there's a lot more questions that are being brought up. And the thing is, I would like to say that I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm looking up the rules just as well because I want to make sure that I'm not assuming that I know. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's go over the magic first. Magic, I ended up getting 2, 3, 5, and 6, which was the Handagork, Bad Moon Rising, Here we go, boys. And then we got the Foot of Gork. I ended up dropping Bad Moon Rising for Itchy Nuisance. Just basically the same thing for me, except for the fact that Itchy Nuisance is going to lower your toughness, which is fucking huge to me. Over here, my opponent, he has 2 wizards. He ends up getting the 1, 2, 3, and 6 of high magic, which gave him Walk Between Worlds, Fiery Convocation, 1, 2, 3, which was Tempest. I think he drops Tempest, though. No, he doesn't drop Tempest. He definitely uses it. And then 6 is Shield of Sapphire. I think the Shield of Sapphire he drops for the signature of something. Vol's Unmaking. All right, there we go. He ended up taking, I think, like 2 and 4 of Illusion or something like that, or 1, 2 of Illusion, which basically gave him Mind Razor and Confounding Convocation, I think it is. We'll see. Anyways, I don't think it really comes into play. Alright, we're going to go ahead and play like this. We're playing on the same map. We ended up rolling for the terrain. We ended up rolling a difficult terrain on both forest. I'm sorry, dangerous terrain on everything. Forest, and the water. Everything got dangerous terrain. Everything. We're still playing those 2, the Moon and the Cauldron, as impassable. And then this is how we deploy. While we're going back and forth, I deploy, you deploy, I deploy, he deploys. I deployed my Boar Boys on the right flank to kind of just go up around the flank fast. What ended up happening was, I think he put the arch down, and he was just like, oh, let me protect them. So he put this giant brick of Sword Bastards. The problem with the Sword Bastards is there's such fast initiative that doesn't matter if I get a charge bonus, I'm going to not beat them in initiative, and he's going to kill my front row of Boar Boys faster than I'll be able to do damage. Right? So then I ended up dropping my little squig man there, the big cheese, as they call him, up on the right side. The cheese ball, man. He's like a little fucking cheese puff, man. And I put him on the right side because he'll get impact hits, yada yada. Okay. I got my Black Orcs in the center since I'm trying to avoid this giant fucking forest of death that I'm going to run into. And to top it off, he's out shooting me. He has Sea Guard. He has 2 poison shot units. He has bolt throwers. He has shadow riders, and then I think other people randomly have a bow here and there. Characters have bows here and there, so he's gonna outshoot me. What I'm gonna do is I use the forest to my advantage with my general, my spider, my mangler, and my my sun worshipper. They're all gonna be behind the forest, and so they're out of line of sight on that first turn. He has clean shots on my savages. He has clean shots on my Black Orcs. I'm just gonna have to get shot. It's fine. It happens. All right. Let's go over the game that is my opponent will, and it's gonna be turn 1. High Elves. High Elves turn 1. He ends up getting the Glittering Robe spell off. It's gonna give him -1 to get hit on this unit. Right? It doesn't really matter because it's so far off, but he's moving up. Now, he's a bit confused on his rules because obviously it's a new game to him. He's gotten a lot of 500 to 1,000 point games, so there's a lot of stuff that he brings up that we're just kind of like, no, that's not how that works. But it matters later in the game. You'll see where it pops up. He is using the Chariot Runners correctly, though. He's setting up a screen with the Skirmishers. As long as they're within an inch, they probably might be a little too far. But his Chariot runs right behind it, so he could charge through, but I cannot charge through the skirmishers. I will have to hit the skirmishers, but at the same time, there's nothing really close except for Koopa. He does go ahead and he gets confused with his Glade Riders there. They're going to go ahead and do like their shoot and reserve move, but he kind of chaffed up his own Spearman, so Spearman stay back for this turn. He ends up putting a Walk Between Worlds, which would give him a reserve move, but he ends up casting it. It does say self here, okay? But he ends up casting it on the Shadow Warriors. I don't know that this is a self spell. This is the first time ever that I'm playing against the Highborn Elf player. High Elf, excuse me. Wrong terminology. High Elf player, and I have no fucking clue about this spell. I've never run into this spell yet until now, until today. So he goes ahead and tosses that on a unit, and he gives them a reserve move as well as ethereal. So I'm like, oh, okay. He ends up putting up a Tempest right here, and this Tempest is a pain in my ass because I think it stays up the whole game. Over here, these guys are going to start off our shooting phase, shooting into my Black Orcs, killing off 1, and then, for the record, I started taking the Black Orcs with, because you could purchase their shields and great weapons, and I used to buy them all with shields and great weapons. Now, I'm purchasing one guy with nothing on him just so he could get shot first. Man, so you can get shot first. Over here, the Shadow Warrior, what are they called? Shadow Blade, Shadow Shadow Warriors. They go ahead and shoot. They kill off one more Black Orc, and that's about it, man. He flubs his roll with his Bolt Thrower. His Bolt Thrower just misses everything. He does his reserve move with his Shadows Warriors, and then he does his reserve move with his Glade Riders up there. Now he has a character in the Glade Riders, which is on that Unicorn, and we're gonna go ahead and play this off on turn 1. Orcs and Goblins. Orcs and Goblins turn 1. I move up my Chariot. Now, this guy does need a name, by the way, the Sun Worshipper. If you guys have a good name, you know, I used to use, what was it, Jigo the Prophet. I could use Jigo the Sun Worshipper, but there might be something better. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, I move up my General on the left side, again, just to avoid how much I'm getting shot at with his shooting. And I put my Black Orcs up there. I put Koopa right there because Koopa's going to go ahead and just charge through. The Mangler, I purposely ran into Koopa because I didn't want him turn 1 just going like, you know, 15 inches forward and getting charged by Sea Guard and Chariots and whatever, right? So I kind of set him up for a future charge. On the right side, I think I just moved up oh, that dude, the cheese guy, he walked like 4 inches. I was like, really? So since he only walked 4 inches, I just kind of like did not even bother pushing the War Boys. We're going to see how that goes. End up dropping a foot of Gork here. Boom! And let's see if it knocks somebody out. And then I end up getting a Fireball. And since I have a 360 line of sight, you can see over here, I'm just going to shoot off my flank into those Glade Guard that are up there by the water. I hit them and I kill all 5 in one shot. Just whoa, burn to a crisp. I ended up killing off 4 more Spearmen. I have no fucking clue how I killed a Spearman. I have no fucking clue. Was it the Foot of Gork who did it? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think it was the Foot of Gork that did it. There's a lack of photos here because we're getting rushed out. I'm really sorry about that, but we're going to go ahead and start off turn 2. High Elves. High Elves turn 2. He charges me. Let me zoom into this picture here because the Glade Guard are skirmishers. And since they can see 360, they can see the tip of my Chariot's ass and charge sideways like they're, you know, like fucking, I don't even know how to explain it. You know, his head's going sideways, man. So this was one of the rules that I had to like look up. I'm like, can you even charge sideways? The answer is yes, you can. Skirmishers can charge sideways. The skirmishers can charge backwards. They have 360 line of sight, and every base edge counts as a front for the purposes of charges. So I was like, all right, fine, fair. I'm gonna flee. So this is, you can see I fled, and this is where the confusion. I guess it's a confusion of the rule additions. But he's like, I'm going to restrain. I go, you don't restrain. You fail charge. No, I'm going to restrain. And I think what he's confusing is like an overrun. Like if you charge a unit, pop them, you could restrain from overrunning, or if you run into a unit, break them, and then restrain from overrunning. I think that's what he was confusing. But he was like, I'm going to restrain so I don't have to charge him. I go, no, you already declare the charge. That charge is happening. And the conversation kept going, so I tried to look it up, and, you know, like I said, there was a lot of rules looking up that slowed the game down, unfortunately. And I don't blame my opponent at all. I don't blame it. It's a new game. It's a new game. But this is one of the things that just kept happening, and I was like, ugh. So over here, he charged through the Shadow Warriors, and he pops in with the Chariot. Now, before this, I think he ended up, or we went back and he was like, let me cast a spell, and he ends up casting the Walk Between Worlds, and he says, I put it on my Chariot, right? I think that's what happened. Or no, this round I don't think he gets it, but whatever. We'll see how it happens. He ends up dropping off a Fiery Convocation here onto my Black Orcs. Oh, no, my Savage Orcs. Ends up killing off 2 of them. And then he ends up starting his shooting phase. Shooting phase, he's going to shoot here with these Shadow Warriors into my Mangler. End up doing, oh no, he did it to my guy, my Goblin boss. Now he charged, I think the Chariot charged the Goblin boss first, and I declared that flee before he ended up going into my Black Orcs. And then he ends up doing a wound here. The Bolt Thrower ends up shooting and kills off my big cheese on this side. God damn. Not only that, but you can see over on the right side here, he ended up just marching his sword bastards with no fear of charge. None. What he ended up doing was actually pretty smart, is he put himself so close that the charge bonus gives me nothing. It's basically negligible. I think I got like a 2-inch charge, and he's blocking me from a 3-inch charge if I add any bonuses from a 3-inch charge. I was like, you son of a bitch, that was pretty smart. Alright, so here's where it gets a little bit sloppy, okay? The pictures start to come less and less. I believe this is the moment where we're being told we have like 40 minutes to play, 30 minutes to play, and they're giving us a timer while they're cleaning up the Dice Dojo. So this combat right here, by the way, is where he believes he has the Ethereal from Walk Between Worlds. He does 2 wounds. He whiffed really bad, alright? Now, I do win combat by 1, because I have 2 banners in this unit. I have the big red raggedy flag banner, which gives me the extra +1. Actually, that's it. That's all I have. I don't win because I don't have ranks because he has first charge. So I don't get any rank bonuses. I just get the banner and the +1 from the banner. So we tie this combat and we're stuck there. He tells me I can't attack. At first we rolled it out, but then he's like, oh no, the guy's ethereal, and he just takes the wound off, right? So that basically causes congestion here on my, what I could do, really. I can't wound the guy because he's ethereal. Now, I know we played this wrong, but I'm just going to continue talking like the way we played it, alright? And it's not Will's fault. It was just easy, that should be self magic. Now, on my turn, I don't have pictures for the next few turns, unfortunately. I have a couple pictures, but not as many because, like I said, we were just rushing to get out. Those 2 units in the back over there, he has the spear on the left and he has the sea guard on the right, okay? The sea guard shot into my spider and did 3 wounds, okay? He was fishing for 6s. Now, he's normally going to hit me on 3s, 4s for long range, and 5s for cover. So he's going for 5s, and then he's looking for 6s to wound the spider. Every 6 with his armor bane on his guys, plus his razor standard, is AP3. It just straight goes right through my spider's defenses. Just like, clock, 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 3 wounds. I was like, oh, shit. Now, on my turn, I'm going to countercharge. I'm going to charge my spider into those guys and my general into the spears, okay? I'm hoping to get both, because if I get both, what happens is I don't have to worry about him countercharging me on either flank, right? My general nails it, gets into those guys with his wizard in it. The spider goes into, and I fail by 1. I fail by 1, and I believe it's due to the fact, and this is a murky rule, it's move through cover. It says you don't suffer movement penalties, but is a charge move a whatchamacallit, like a move? Because if it's not, what ends up happening is the charge move, you would reduce the biggest dice and take the smaller one going through cover, going through terrain. And going through terrain, that would be, and not only that, but I have to worry about the Tempest. Either way, I failed the roll. I flubbed the roll. That happens. So my general goes in. I charge the boars on the right into the sword bastards, and we're going to play it off like that. Over here, the sword bastards, I got real lucky. He only did 2 wounds, but I did challenge. I challenged with my champion, and I do this on purpose because I'm trying to either take out his wizard from doing all this massive damage with his magic weapon, or take out the champion who has 3 attacks. Now, if I take out the champion who has 3 attacks, if you guys hear, there's a shy ambulance going by. Anyways, if I take out this champion that has 3 attacks, that means that it's a high chance that some of my other guys live, right? So I challenge, and he tells me he declines. He's confused, again, because he's new to Warhammer Old World. He's confused with the challenge rules, and we realized this at the next turn or two that he really didn't understand what challenging means. So he says he declines it, right? I said, oh, okay. And then he attacks with everybody, and I was like, no, one of your guys cannot attack. And then he goes, oh, I guess the wizard won't attack. I said, oh, okay, whatever. That's fine. I mean, it's fine. It doesn't matter. I was trying to take out the freaking champ because the guy had 3 attacks, strength 5. But I did a couple wounds back. It wasn't a big victory. I think I won, but I won by a wound or something like that. And he pushes back. He gives ground in good order, right? Or not, sorry. He falls. He just gives ground. He gives ground. I've mixed that up. Okay. Over here, like I said, my general charged in, and I challenge again. This is when we realized he had no idea what challenge meant. I challenge. I destroy that champion. My general has re-rolling ones with choppas, blah blah blah, and what ends up happening is he, excuse me, he except with the champion, I do max overkill. I think the max overkill now is 6. Like, you get 1 moon plus 5, so that's 6. And, you know, he's going to lose, but he also gives ground, right? Now, the thing is, he wanted to attack me with everybody. I go, well, no, you can't attack. And he's like, what do you mean I can't attack? I'm like, if you took the challenge, the guy who took the challenge took the fight. And he goes, oh, that's how that works? I'm like, dude, there was no reason for me to kill the one guy, 6 wounds, when I could have just killed the whole front row without even bothering to challenge, you know? So he's like, oh, okay. So, I mean, again, it's a learning game. So he I don't think he gave grunt. I think he actually fell back in good order. But the problem here is he rolled a 6, and I rolled like a 3 or 4. That leaves him open to cast spells, and the first spell he casts on himself is Walk Between Worlds. And now I'm stuck. Now I can't, and he's going to charge me on his turn. On his turn, I lost track of what turn this is, but his Sword Bastards here charge into my Black Orcs. My Black Orcs have been stuck because this guy had Walk Between Worlds. And then over here, Close Combat, he is just destroying my Boar Boys. My Boar Boys are going to break. My General Fight up here, after he charges in, I challenge again, but at the same time, he's ethereal. He gives 0 shits. This is actually when we figured out that it's a self-spell. So he ends up just charging, having 2 ranks, banner. That's all he needed. That's when he's winning by 3. I rolled the dice. I rolled double 6s. My general runs, and again I run like 5 inches. He pursues and he kills me. I'm like, that's game right there, man. That's game. The other thing that happened too is when my spider charged into the Sea Guard, he ended up doing a stand and shoot, and the stand and shoot did 3 more wounds or 2 more wounds on the stand and shoot, and then on his turn he ended up killing off my spider. I'm like, there's not much else I could do right now. He has 2 blocks that are pretty much untouched, and then he's killing my Black Orcs right now. I have Savage Orcs, a Mangler that's partially dead, and a Wizard. I'm like, yeah, it's over. It's game. And then not only that, but the Dice Dojo's kicking us out. So it's a big victory for my friend here, my new friend, and yeah, for the High Elves. We didn't do a closing video because we were in a rush to leave. We did talk a bit about, like, just excitement for the game. Honestly, I do appreciate seeing a army come out, like, okay, he's playing High Elves, but then he brought an ally. And that is just so interesting because it changes the dynamic of any army on the fly. I think that's cool. I hope most tournaments keep that up. I hope so, because I know that tournaments in, you know, years to come, they're gonna be like, no allies, whatever they're gonna say. But like I said, we have no closing argument. I think the MVP for me is really learning his army's Armor Bane shooting like unit. That unit killed a spider that was like 300 points. That unit itself is probably like 300 points. But it opened up my eyes to how good Armor Bane could be in a unit of Biggins and a unit of Night Goblins. You know, just like you're fishing for 6s anyways, you're just gonna might as well hit a unit and just like freaking rip apart their armor. And the other thing too is I am now gonna make sure that my general never leaves home without an ethereal or a magic weapon. Now on the other side though, he did break my bedazzling helm just so because I didn't have a magic weapon, so he ended up casting that spell to dispel it. That also teaches me that I need to make sure that I have a wizard that has some way to stop these fuck you spells. You know what I mean? And that is something that magic defense is something pretty big that I have to invest into, or else you're just gonna get steamrolled by magic. I really do believe magic could really mess somebody up in this game. All right, so let's see. Overall, the game was fun. It was fun. Like I said, the next game is going to be against Ian. We couldn't get back in the Dice Dojo that this weekend. It just passed yesterday because the dojo had like some grand tournament upstairs and downstairs, and the guys were super fucking rude. Like, no, you can't put those 2 tables together, blah blah blah. So it's just like, okay, man, whatever, right? So I left and we went to a different place. We went to this place in Lakeview or Lincoln Park and in Chicago, and we played there, and it was so funny because it's just totally different. And I'll explain that in the next video, but it was just really funny to play in a different store that's not my store, that's like 2 blocks down. Anyways, the other thing I want to bring up, let's go ahead and drop some info in here. I'm going to an indie tournament coming in next week. On Friday, I'm going to drive out to Indiana and play at Gary Luther's tournament. And then I am also going to start doing commissions. If you guys, I'm going to put up some pictures here of some work I've done for Joe Abel and John Oakes. But also, if you guys want your own miniatures painted, I just need some supplemental income, more or less, and it's a good way for me to use my skills. You guys have seen my miniatures, the way I paint. I've won plenty of awards, and honestly, I appreciate painting. The one thing I don't appreciate is painting 200 fucking goddamn skeletons, okay, John? Never again. Never again. Anyways, but yeah, if you have characters, heroes, monsters, something that's like just gonna be a big nasty, and you're like, you know what, I want to make sure that this looks great on the table, you could contact me on my comments, or you can do it on Facebook or Instagram. That's those two I usually check. Also included in that is I'm doing banners. Okay, if you guys have seen my banner work, if you like my banner work, here's a couple pictures. I've done banners for my brother's army, my army. I'm trying to think. I did one for a raffle I did before, and then I did one for a guy who purchased one. So I have plenty of banners. I'm trying to find the images to post up here if I got them. But besides that, let's see. So I'm doing banners to commissions, and I'm going to get ready for Adepticon. I'm going to get the game ready with Ian. I'm really running out of things to say here, man. So, besides that, guys, I just hope you guys enjoy this, man. I know this video was a little bit choppy, and I apologize. Like I said, we're just circumstances. And I'm looking forward to playing Will again and hope to get a better game for you where I just don't run away from freaking ethereal everything. Alright, guys. Hope you guys enjoy that. Take care, and until next time. Peace.